Alright guys, now I'm back. Welcome to the SNES Geek Show and I'm the SNES Geek. Man, I can't believe it. It's fall 2016 already. Man, the summer was damn good. I'm getting old. Okay, let's flash back to 1998. Why not?
So what happened in 1998? Well, Mulan was released in theaters, The Lion King 2 scene was probably one of the best Disney direct-to-DVD sequels ever was released on DVD, VHS, and it was that face on the front cover of the film that was going to sell big bucks worldwide. And even Israel won the Eurovision Song Contest. It was also a big year for the rally game franchise as Colin McRae Rally entered the console gaming market.
So Colin McRae Rally is a game that has really grown on to me. It's grown on to me like your beloved grows on to you. And look at the scores for this game on the box. That's right, and it even says the greatest rally game of all time. So how can it possibly be that bad? Well, this is actually a game that immerses you into the game and you feel like you are actually racing in a race car. Don't believe me? Watch this then.
Developed and published by Codemasters in 1998, this game just so happens to be the first game in a long-running franchise, the latest game being released last year in 2015. It opens up with the computer-generated FMV, which should just be real-life FMV to me. I find no reason to actually make the intro animated. Maybe it was because to save money to make the game better, who knows? But what I can say is that this game has many arrows. Just look how many arrows is shown in the intro. There are so many arrows I can't even count them all. If this game has as many arrows like it's shown in the intro, we're in for one hell of a ride. After the difficult choice of choosing manual or automatic, the real game begins. It's a rally game! If you didn't read the title of this game or watch the intro, this would be the biggest surprise ever. There is no story, it's just about racing on a track. You race, 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 and steer. Use the X button for speed and the left analog stick for steering. That's about what you need to know to play this game in terms of controls. This game actually differs from other racing games in a few ways. For starters, you have an arrow guiding you, which is a common thing in racing games, but unlike some other racing games, you have to follow this arrow because the tracks are not just always straightforward. It will change in color depending on how the sharp the turn is. You have competition, but they are not visible on screen, you have to imagine them. I think this was done due to hardware limitations of the PlayStation, but that makes this game feel more focused on you, the player. You don't have to worry about crashing into other cars or overtake them. You just have to hit the finish line, which is what I adore with this game. You can transport into this game, and you feel like you are in the front seat of a race car. But you're not entirely alone, of course. When you hit the checkpoint, you see your competition on screen. If you want to beat a season, as it's called in this game, you have to get at least 6th place overall when you finish with the season, otherwise you have to restart it. The graphics in this game are really primitive, which works to this game's benefit. With only trees and fence to crash into, the game runs smoothly. But the cars have nice details and the engine noise is satisfying as duck. There are also spectators, which is just sprites. They will observe your race but they won't cheer you on. They just stand in fenced in areas and do nothing more. Once again, hardware limitations. Along the races you have a guide telling you where to head to next, which is not really necessary anyway because you can hear him that well, and the arrows does a really good job anyway, so why is he here? To simulate the feeling of a race car, of course. In between races you can customize your car, which is a pretty cool detail, which is something I didn't care about because I was too busy caring about my driving skills. The third level in the first division is my favorite because you're driving right after a big rain and you see a rainbow in front of you, which you can't reach because that would make the game way too unrealistic, and that wasn't clearly what they were going for. They were going for a true rally experience. This is also the first level where you will drive in mud, which dirts down your car, and I must say, this mud looks pretty damn good for a PS1 game. There's a charm with this game which I admire. This was meant to be a true rally experience, and it succeeds as every aspect of being a rally game. If I'm going to complain about something, the amount of arrows on screen in the intro was massive, and there's only 2 arrows max on screen at once in the game, and it could have worked with the multiplayer mode. So I ended this season at an 8th place overall, but that's okay because it was a jolly good time while it lasted. Plus, you have to fail a number of times before you can succeed, and that is something which we should all think about. Plus, I set a new record for this season.